Have you ever wanted everything? It's a question that at first glance might seem nonsensical, yet it carries within it a profound philosophical and psychological quandary. Today, we delve into the paradox of desire, a curious conundrum that suggests wanting everything can lead us to a state of perpetual dissatisfaction. Imagine for a moment that you have everything you've ever desired. Sounds fantastic, right? But this dream scenario presents an interesting problem. Once we acquire everything we want, what's left to strive for? What's left to excite us, to push us forward? This is the paradox of desire, a cycle of wanting, getting, and then wanting again. This desire, this constant yearning for more, is not merely a philosophical concept, it's deeply rooted in our psychology. Psychologists refer to this phenomenon as the hedonic treadmill. Just as a person on a treadmill moves forward without actually going anywhere, our levels of happiness tend to remain stable, regardless of how much we accumulate or achieve. We adapt to new levels of happiness, and then inevitably, we want more. Studies suggest that our brains are wired to acclimate to new circumstances, win the lottery, get a promotion, buy that dream house. We might experience a temporary spike in happiness, but soon enough, we adjust to this new normal. And then, we find ourselves wanting again. We're back on the treadmill, running towards the next desire, the next goal, the next everything. But here's the catch. The more we want, the more we risk disappointment. The more we desire, the more we expose ourselves to potential dissatisfaction. And so, we find ourselves trapped in a cycle of constant wanting, where fulfillment is always just out of reach. So, what's the solution? Well, it's a complex issue, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. But understanding the paradox of desire is a good starting point. It's a step towards recognizing our patterns of desire and perhaps finding a balance between wanting and contentment. So, from a psychological perspective, wanting everything might just leave us perpetually unsatisfied. But remember, this is just the beginning of our journey into the paradox of desire. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this fascinating topic in our next scene. Now, let's delve into the philosophy of desire. It's a fascinating topic that has been explored by countless thinkers throughout history, each offering their unique perspective on this universal human experience. One of the most intriguing aspects of desire is the notion of wanting everything. Imagine for a moment a life where you want everything. It sounds like a utopia, doesn't it? But philosophically speaking, it's a paradox that could lead to a life of constant dissatisfaction and suffering. Buddhism, for instance, offers a compelling perspective on this. The Four Noble Truths, one of the central teachings of Buddhism, state that desire or tanha is the root of all suffering. The more we want, the more we suffer because our desires are insatiable. As soon as one desire is fulfilled, another takes its place. It's like a never-ending cycle, a wheel that keeps spinning. But it's not just Buddhism that offers this perspective. Stoicism, the ancient Greek philosophy, also encourages acceptance of what we have, rather than the constant pursuit of more. The Stoics believed that tranquility, the ultimate goal of life, can only be achieved by accepting the present moment as it is, rather than constantly striving for more. They saw desire as a form of slavery, a chain that binds us to the material world and prevents us from experiencing true freedom. This might seem counterintuitive, especially in our modern consumer-driven society where wanting more is often equated with success. But, philosophically speaking, the more we desire, the more we are bound by those desires. They can become like a prison, preventing us from experiencing the freedom and peace that comes from accepting and appreciating what we already have. So, you see, wanting everything isn't necessarily the path to happiness and fulfillment. In fact, it could lead to a life of constant longing, dissatisfaction, and suffering. It's a thought-provoking perspective, isn't it? Philosophically speaking, it seems that wanting everything could lead to a life of constant suffering. But how does this concept of wanting everything play out in society? Let's take a moment to dive into this. In our society, we see the manifestation of wanting everything largely through the lens of consumerism. We're constantly bombarded with advertisements and media messages that tell us we need more. More clothes, more gadgets, more experiences. This relentless pursuit of more, this insatiable desire for everything, has become a cornerstone of our culture. Yet, what are the implications of this? For one, it can lead to a certain level of dissatisfaction. When we're always striving for more, we can lose sight of the value in what we already have. our focus becomes directed at what we don't have, rather than appreciating what we do. This mentality can lead to a sense of constant dissatisfaction and a lack of fulfillment, but it goes beyond just individual satisfaction. The societal pressure to want everything can also contribute to significant inequalities. A society that constantly wants more often sees wealth and resources concentrated in the hands of a few, while many others are left wanting. This disparity can create tension and conflict, and it undermines the sense of community and shared responsibility. And let's not forget the environmental impact. Our planet has finite resources, and our wanting everything mentality is putting a severe strain on these resources. From overconsumption to waste, the environmental footprint of our desires is not sustainable. It's a clear indication that our wanting everything is not without its consequences. So as we can see, the concept of wanting everything is not just an individual concern, it's a societal one. It shapes our values, our behaviors, and our interactions with others. It influences the distribution of wealth and resources, and it impacts our environment. In essence, the desire for everything can lead to a reality where we risk losing much. Sociologically, the notion of wanting everything could have serious implications for both individuals and society as a whole. But what if wanting everything is almost the same as wanting nothing? Now this might sound counterintuitive at first, but let's delve deeper. Imagine you're at an all-you-can-eat buffet with a multitude of choices. There's sushi, pizza, pasta, salads, desserts, and more. You want to try everything, but your plate and stomach have limited capacity. The more you pile on your plate, the less you enjoy each bite, as you're already thinking about the next dish you want to try. Instead of enjoying the meal, you end up feeling overwhelmed and unsatisfied. This is a classic example of choice overload, a concept originally identified by psychologists. In our modern society, we often face similar situations. From the endless scroll of social media feeds to the vast array of streaming options, we are constantly bombarded with more choices than we can reasonably evaluate or enjoy. We want to consume all the content, experience all the things, achieve all the goals. But in this pursuit of everything, we often find ourselves paralyzed, unable to make a decision or derive satisfaction from our choices. This is the paradox of wanting everything. The more we want, the less satisfied we become. Our desires become a moving target, always just out of reach. We're on a never-ending treadmill of want, but never quite reaching a state of contentment. Now, consider the other end of the spectrum, wanting nothing. This does not mean a lack of ambition or aspiration, but rather a state of contentment with what one already has. When we want nothing, we are not paralyzed by choice or constantly seeking the next best thing. We can appreciate the present moment and find joy in the simple things. Yet, the irony lies in the fact that by wanting everything, we dilute our desires to the point where they lose their value, making it feel as if we have nothing. In contrast, by wanting nothing, we free ourselves from the shackles of insatiable desire, allowing us to find satisfaction and fulfillment in what we have. So paradoxically, in wanting everything, we might end up feeling as if we have nothing. So what does all this mean for us? We've journeyed together through the complex maze of desire, unraveling the paradoxes and philosophies that underpin this powerful force. We've explored how our society fuels the notion of wanting everything, only to find that this seemingly insatiable hunger might actually equate to wanting nothing. In our quest for everything, we often find ourselves chasing shadows, ephemeral dreams that dissipate the moment we attempt to grasp them. This cycle of endless desire, this perpetual thirst for more, can leave us feeling empty, directionless, ironically akin to wanting nothing. The importance of understanding our desires cannot be overstated. Our desires shape our thoughts, our actions, our lives, yet these desires are not always our own. They're often molded by external influences, by societal expectations, by the illusion of abundance. Recognizing this, we can begin to question, to evaluate, to discern which desires truly resonate with us, and which are mere echoes of societal pressure. Desire in its essence is not inherently bad. It drives us, motivates us, pushes us to strive for better. But when desire is left unchecked, when it becomes an uncontrolled fire consuming everything in its path, it can lead to disillusionment, dissatisfaction, a sense of ever-present longing. So, as we navigate the vast ocean of desires, it's crucial to steer our ship with discernment, to choose our desires wisely. This requires introspection, self-awareness, a deep dive into the depths of our psyche. It requires us to ask ourselves, Do I truly want everything, or am I simply caught in the endless cycle of desire? It's a journey of self-discovery, of finding balance between desire and contentment, of recognizing that wanting everything might actually mean wanting nothing. It's a journey worth embarking on, a journey that could redefine our understanding of happiness and fulfillment. Remember, wanting everything might feel like wanting nothing at all, so choose wisely.